Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is Dorrani from VG247 with Sherif. How are you, Sherif?
Hello, man. I'm doing well.
Good, 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 good. So, we have been playing Back for Blood.
That's right. The new game from Turtle Rock Studios, whom you may know as the original creators of Left 4 Dead. Obviously, Valve also co-created that game, but
Yeah,
they basically did a lot of things for that game initially, and then from there they went on to do Evolve, which didn't quite hit.
didn't land so well.
And now they're back,
For Blood?
back for blood. I like that name because it works on like two levels. There's
Yeah.
the surface level, which is like calling attention to the name of Left 4 Dead, and highlighting the 4 and all the art and all
Yeah,
this stuff to kind of make you think of Left 4 Dead. And also, it works on a meta level as basically that team back hungry for like a
yeah,
successful thing.
definitely. People have been
After
crying out for it as well. People have been waiting a long time for something, anything. So, we played together. So we played the session together with two other people. They were French, lovely guys.
yeah.
And I would like to say that we had fun. I had fun. But for those people watching who would want a sort of first impression, I love this elevator pitch thing that we done with the Ascent video. So
Yeah.
what is your elevator pitch for Back for Blood?
It's a co-op shooter, zombie shooter, 4-player. It basically, like every element of that game, is either based on something that you've seen in Left 4 Dead, or something that harkens back to like a moment or like a pace or like a feel of Left 4 Dead, but presented in a modern context. So
Yeah.
it's still the same. Like, obviously, it's a co-op shooter. You're shooting zombies, which is like thousands of games done that, but it has the structure of a Left 4 Dead, which is you go through a level. You have a couple of like exciting moments and then a big horde.
Yeah.
You go through a safe room, you restock, you heal up, you pick up a bunch of shit, and then you basically advance to the next bit of the level.
Yeah.
Big couple of fights, next safe room until a big boss fight at the end, and then it goes. Uh, with on top of that some other modern things that we'll talk about, like
Yeah.
the card system and like modern shooting mechanics with like aim down sights,
Yeah.
attachments, and gun pickups and things like that.
Yeah.
It's I think as close approximation as you're going to get to the purity of Left 4 Dead.
Yeah. That was a bit more than an elevator pitch. If it was in an elevator, I would
It's a
have been
long
out.
elevator
I
ride.
would have been out the door. I would have gone to my floor a long time ago. No, but this is the closest thing that you're gonna get to Left 4 Dead for a long time, people. And this, I want to just make this clear that that's not what this whole conversation is gonna be like. So, take a shot every time we say Left 4 Dead, but we're gonna try and stay away from that. That's not something we want to do. Back 4 Blood is its own game. So you summarized what it is actually. So let's speak about the gameplay. You can go first and just speak about how we got on, with the game.
Yeah, we played a couple of PvE matches. There is PvP where you play as the special zombies. It's not quite the classic style. It's more of like a deathmatch type thing where there are zombies in place, and then you play as one of the special zombies, and then they play as the heroes. You try to kill them, they try to kill you. We didn't, unfortunately, get to play that. We played a bunch of PvE, you and I, and then I after that. It feels great. It's as I was mentioning earlier, it's a really good approximation of that style of co-op.
Yeah,
It's a very I don't want to call it old, but it's a traditional kind of stripped down co-op experience. Where it's not always about gear, it's not always about numbers, it's not always about pushing for the next bit of like skill points or like all the stuff like that you see in so many co-op games today.
yeah,
It's more traditional of like we need to learn the level, we need to stick together, we need to interact to what the game is throwing at us, and then that's the fun of the experience. And along the way, maybe you'll get a good weapon, maybe you won't, maybe you'll get a good attachment, maybe you won't, maybe someone will die because it's of a bad spot.
yeah,
All that stuff that you could come across in like a traditional co-op game without it feeling like you're grinding towards some massive goal. I
yeah,
found it very fun. I really like how reactive the AI is. The card system in particular, I thought was a really good idea.
yeah.
That really has advanced since I last played that game.
We'll get to the card system in a moment. The the gameplay for me, I just want to say that I'm not a fan of co-op shooters. I'm not a fan of co-op shooters, but this somehow has managed to capture me back into this sort of co-op zombie survival game, you know, like the typical Left 4 Dead style. And it's funny that the last game that I enjoyed like this was Left 4 Dead. Everything in between Back 4 Blood and Left 4 Dead, I have not enjoyed. I'm not going to name any of the games. Everyone knows what the games are, but a lot of the games I just haven't enjoyed. But this, it just feels right. It just feels right. The gameplay is right. It's not trying to do too much. It knows exactly where it wants to be, and I just like it. But let's speak about the gunplay. I want to say about this gunplay, Sherif, that I feel if you were to take it out of its genre, as in like a co-op zombie shooter, it could stand like by itself as like a, say if it was like PvP, like player versus player,
Yeah.
but it wasn't player versus well, man versus zombie sort of vibe. It was humans versus humans, and it was just a shooter, normal shooter, Call of Duty, Battlefield, whatever. It would work. Honestly, I think it would work. The gunplay is that, I don't know, solid. I think. What do you reckon?
It is solid. I think they would have to build like a bunch of more mechanics for it to be
Yeah,
like on the level of like a Call of Duty or a Battlefield.
yeah,
But it's definitely, especially compared to Left 4 Dead, because that's the reference point a lot of people are going to have, and certainly given Turtle Rock's history.
yeah,
Left 4 Dead gunplay is not good. Like you go back and play
yeah.
those games now, it's
Agreed.
like it's outdated.
Mhm.
It was good at the time because that's what you had, but you go now back to it and you play and you're like, this is this is like very standard. Like, oh, I'm not even going to touch on the aim down sight stuff because some people think that's like a travesty that this game has it, which I
Yeah.
think is crazy because like it's
What, that Back 4
2021.
Blood has M downside?
Yeah, they
Okay.
wanted it to be like a more pure like
Nah.
which like come on.
Yeah.
I will say just quickly on that point, the spread on hipfire is pretty tight, so you could
Yeah.
live with shooting hipfire if you really wanted to.
Yeah.
But really, this is an ADS game, and it's balanced as that. And I thought it felt great. It felt like a good
Yeah.
modernization of that. That's not like incredibly accurate, where you're just picking off zombies before they even reach you.
Yeah.
And the levels are designed in such a way that you can be swarmed. Sometimes you'll have to hip fire. Sometimes other times, there's a good balance and like good interplay between these different classes. There's so many weapons, more than I imagined there would
And
be.
attachments too, which sort of caught me off guard. I'm not sure if you remember when we first went in to the game. There's like a firing range, and I said,
Yeah,
"Yo, there's what is all these attachments, and there's rarities as well." I don't know what it is with me when I see like the color schemes for like a rarity of like, I'm like, oh my god, it's legendary. It's like a legendary magazine. So there's like magazines, sights, barrels, grips. I want to say like along those lines, and of course
yeah,
different rarities, and they do different things. Like for example, one might have more bullet penetration. So if you're coming up against a horde, you
yeah,
just tear through them. Or some might have stagger. So on the bigger monsters when they're coming at you, or ridden. Is that what they're called? Ridden?
they're called the Redden. Yeah,
Ridden. So bigger monsters come at you, they'll stagger easier. Loads of different things. I'm sure there's gonna be like flame ammo or something like that later on down the line. But I was just quite surprised. Like you said, I was quite surprised of the variety. There's loads. You'll see it on screen, but there is loads and loads of weapons. I interrupted you in what you were
no,
saying.
no, it's fine. Yeah, it's basically I like the variety that offers because it's not
Yeah,
just, oh, I just got another M4. It's like
yeah,
this M4 was really good because I had these couple attachments to it, and all that stuff is random, so you don't know what
yeah,
you're getting. Sometimes you kind of have to fight over attachments with teammates. If you're like,
yep,
actually, I'm gonna benefit more from this long range thing for my rifle. You should stick to something else with your shotgun. A lot of the attachments are shared, so depending on the weapon, obviously you're not going to get like an extended mag on a shotgun, but
yeah,
within reason. So that could create kind of a situation of like kind of competitiveness.
yeah,
Uh, but it's so good because like it creates a lot of depth for like even a single gun that you think, oh man, I understand the recoil of this, I know exactly what to do,
mm-hmm,
and then you get an attachment that boosts like range at the expense of handling, and all of a sudden it's a different gun.
Yeah.
And because you can't select all that stuff manually, it's fun every time in the sort of the classic BR way and the classic,
Yeah.
kind of pick up and play way. I loved it. It's amazing.
You try to make lemonade out of lemons. You just get given stuff, and it's like, yeah, this is fun. Okay, we're gonna try and just see how we get on with these. Oh, I picked up a bad attachment. Well, sucks for us, guys. We're gonna have to wait until we get to the safe room again. Let's talk about the difficulty. So when we played, we started on the base difficulty, which was, so there's three, right? So
Yeah.
it's like Survivor, something in the middle, and then Nightmare. We played on Survivor first, and we sort of cakewalked all the way through. There's not many like hordes of zombies. They're not very grouped up. You can get by. I don't think any of us went down in that. And I think, yeah, people are gonna find some fun in that. But if you want the actual serious experience, Nightmare, oh my goodness gracious, that was tough. I don't think we even completed a mission.
No, I don't think we even did one section.
Yeah, but I will say that Nightmare is for people who have taken the time to understand the systems. You understand what's ahead. It's something that's like going to be trial and error. And of course, we're going to speak about the card system in a moment. But the card system, once you have that figured out and you have the correct ones and you know what ones you want to go into, but it's tough. It is definitely tough. What did you think?
Yeah, we kind of played both extremes. The best experience I found is the one in the middle,
Yeah.
unsurprisingly, because it's a good balance of like, oh, chaotic moments and then some quiet time.
Yeah.
Where you're just looking for attachments and grenades and stuff. Yeah, the balance. If you obviously your skill level varies, and some people just want to have a good time. They don't want
Yeah.
to challenge. Like the base difficulty is that for you. We found it to be a little challenging. The middle is a good upgrade. Nightmare is just it's going to test your knowledge of the map because you know exactly where to go, and then it ramps up basically everything that hates you in the game is just up. So, like the bigger special zombies are increased. The zombies do more damage to you. Environmental hazards, things like flocks of crows, like birds sitting on a ledge or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you startle, you're gonna call on other zombies. Go on.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted to know. Actually, I was still confused after I finished playing. I was like, okay, so the crows, they just alert hordes. Like, yeah, they just bring more. Of course, it's a sound trap basically,
Yeah,
and they
it's
just
a sound
bring,
trap.
they bring hordes.
And there are other kinds of sound traps as well, like car alarms, like trap doors that basically, like an alarm that would go off as well.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. That basically that makes you play it extremely cautiously. And then you add on top of that ammo scarcity. We actually ran out of ammo when we were playing that. So it's basically it's tasking all the different kind of core competences of you as a player and your coordination as a team. So this is not a thing where you just pick up and play with like a random group of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found like the middle one to be the most balanced. This is one that I think most people will find comfortable. The higher one was sufficiently challenging but not to a point where like I'm dying in two hits. This is rough. No, it was like I can do this better. I know how. I just need time. Like it's not like this is clearly.
You have to use your brain. You can't just play. You need to think. You need to think about what you're doing. And I think that's what the people who enjoy these sorts of games will want to do. You don't want to just breeze through. Some people do, of course. Respect if you just want to breeze through. But I think the fun is in the challenge with these sorts of games. I think this is how it is intended to be played, with that sort of we're survivors, we're trying to get through this level, and there needs to be that sense of danger. There needs to be that sense of danger when the bigger monsters ridden come at you in Nightmare, and you've got like 30 shots left. It's like, well, we can maybe kill this guy, but what we're doing after is knives out because we ain't got no ammo. It's rough. There is other things as well, not just ammo. There is like the pickups as well. So there's a variety of pickups like defibrillators, bandages, there is grenades, barbed wire, and I'm sure there was much more. What more is there? Did you see any more?
There's a couple. Yeah, there's a couple like level pickups. There's a basic inventory system.
Yeah.
I don't want to scare anyone away with like saying, "Oh, an inventory system." No, it's
Escape
not.
Tarkov, you're gonna be doing.
It's not Escape from Tarkov. Like, don't be alarmed. Uh, it's a basic stuff. Like, usually everyone would have a pickup. You would have a tool that would open like specially marked doors that would
Yeah,
usually hide a bunch of loot behind them, like really good
that was a
weapons.
really nice system.
Obviously, that room, there's no guarantee that it's going to spawn. So you're taking a risk by spending your money, your coins, on something that may not come into use. There
Yeah,
are other things like you mentioned, defibrillators, which bring back the teammates on the spot
yeah,
rather than waiting for them to spawn somewhere else on the level, like Left 4 Dead.
yeah,
And then the bunch of like melee pickups. There's a bunch of like things that we found a turret last night that someone could man
yeah,
that could be helpful in like defense, stuff like that. There's like a bunch of like dynamic elements. That's my favorite thing about that game is that you can never really like I played it for maybe 6 hours this beta,
yeah,
and it's I've never found like oh, this is my strategy, this is what I'm doing.
yeah.
It's always like, oh, I could try this. Oh, this is interesting. I didn't even consider
Hmm.
this. This is the dynamic elements in this game that I really find interesting.
Yeah, no, that's what's up, man. Because I think it's quite easy for games like this to fall into the trap of people can just learn the bait, like how do I describe it? Learn where everything is, so they can just exploit all of the best strategies. But no, the game is ever changing. It's like, okay, here's the path you need to go along, but what happens along the path changes. So I think that is awesome. So let's speak about the card system a little bit. This is a system where in the comms when me and Sharif were playing, I said, Is this Hearthstone? Because it's a proper card system, and when at the start of each round or level or segment, whatever you want to call it, act,
Mm.
you get a chance to choose a card or mulligan out other cards, and I was like, okay. And so basically what the card system is, these are basically your perks. These are your perks and your stats, your abilities. So you'll see things like different skills. If you want to change your normal punch melee into a bayonet, you
Yeah.
can do that. You can get a knife if you want to have +10 stamina, because there is a stamina bar in this game. You can't run infinitely. If you want reduced
Faster
damage,
healing. Yeah.
yeah, faster healing, reduced damage, along those lines. And then, of course, your character that you choose. How many characters is there? There is like
8.
eight. Yeah, eight
Yeah, I think
characters.
you'll
They
have
all
5
have.
in the beta, but yeah.
Yeah, they have like team skills, team cards. So they will have, for the whole team, reduced damage. For the whole team, something, something, something. You'll see it on screen because I'll put hopefully the gameplay you're seeing will help elaborate a bit more. But the card system, it is simple, but it's not explained very well in the beta. I'm assuming in the full game it's going to be explained very well. It's going to. What did you think? What did you think of it, Sharif? Because I liked it. It was just like, whoa! I didn't expect to see it displayed this way. Yeah,
Yeah, it's. I think it needs a little bit of work. I can tell you that it has improved greatly since the last time I played this
yeah,
game. The presentation, especially, is much more clear. But the way it's laid out, so every person on the team can build a deck of cards.
yeah,
You buy these cards from the menu using currency that you earn as you game. You find them in the levels, and then they're added to your deck forever to be used.
yeah,
You find them in a couple of different varieties. But at the start of the match, you get essentially like everyone laying their cards on the table,
yeah,
and the game is gonna, as much as they're borrowing some elements obviously from Hearthstone, as you mentioned, on card games. It's gonna pick some random cards from the deck that you brought in.
yeah,
So you build your deck usually to specialize in a specific thing, so that you can guarantee I'm gonna get one of these 5 cards or 10 cards or whatever
yeah,
it is. But the way that it's laid out suggests that all of our collective cards will apply to all of us.
yeah,
Because something about the presentation of the menu kind of indicates that that's the case, which is not. The cards that you're playing apply to you only, unless there is a specific modifier on that card that says applies to the rest of the team.
yeah,
So what you're doing is you're basically making things more interesting for your own thing, and sometimes helping the team. it's a simple to understand system once you get into it. And I don't want to again scare anybody away that this is like a card game. You can
Yeah.
think of these as perks for you and modifiers for the AI.
Yeah.
That's the clearest, most simplest way, the simplest way to explain it. Modifiers in the AI, it's basically try to imagine them playing cards against you, and
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, you're going to bring in more health and like a bayonet instead of a normal melee. Well, how
Yeah.
about the entire map is covered in fog? You can't see
Yeah.
shit."
Counterplay.
Counterplay.
Counterplay. It's like you activated my trap card. Big. I hope everyone understands where that reference is from. Yeah, so the modifiers and like there's like little time trials also. Like
Yeah.
it's like complete the mission within 10 minutes, or you miss out on this challenge, or hordes of zombies are just going to be spawning all the time throughout the map. It's like it's counterplay, because of course you can't just be getting stronger and the enemies are not also getting stronger as well, or there's no, I just say counterplay. It's pretty
There
cool.
was a one card in particular that I came across last night that was
Yeah.
I hate it, but I love it. It
Go on.
was there's a horde on a timer, so it's basically every 2.5 minutes. I think it was 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Some horde will spawn. It doesn't matter what you're doing at that time. You're fighting
Yeah.
a boss. You're quietly looking for. When that timer hits zero, a horde is going to be on you in that moment. And that fucked us so hard, that mission, because it came at the most inopportune time.
Yeah.
But it was like these things that are like basically surviving by the skin of your teeth and thinking, yeah, man, we did it. We did it. And this fucking modifier is not going to
Yeah.
fuck us anymore because we hit the room. It's these moments that are my favorite in this game.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you can, it's ever changing. Like I think not every run is going to be the same. I love that. That's what I mean. Like, I'm not a big fan of co-op zombie survival shooters, but Back for Blood is it's doing a lot for me. I enjoyed it. He said that it has changed a lot from the first beta, which is a good thing. Just quickly summarize like some of the improvements.
Well, the UI is definitely a big upgrade. The card system, I could not tell you what it was, man. I was like, why is this here? What's going on? Why do I have to play cards? I'm just saying
Yeah,
zombies, man. What's going on? Whereas now I'm more like, oh yeah, I completely understand what this is like
yeah,
because of the UI. There's also now a sort of like a hub area, which you spend points to unlock some cosmetics. And you actually pointed this out, Dorrani.
yeah,
It's all fluff because all of what you can do in that area, you still can do in the menu. You could just hit
yeah.
menu and basically visit these quote unquote vendors
It's
and do
that's
the
a weird
thing.
system. That's a really weird system. I get why. It's like that. It's like, oh, here's the hub, but say for example, like in Destiny, for example, when you're in the tower, I hate running from one side of the tower to the other side just to pick up one thing, and I think it just counteracts that feeling of I don't really want to walk from here to here when I can just press tab and have all of the menus that would have been there if I went to walk to whatever vendor it was. It's a bit of a weird system, but it looks stupid. But in actual theory, like in practice, it works really well.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's neat. It's the hub area is not massive. No, there's one. It's basically like I said. It's like options in the menu turned into people. It's like, oh, you
yeah,
need to go to this sort of boxing ring to initiate PvP. You go to this dude on an operating like a
yep,
business table, like a military man, to initiate campaign. You go to someone with like a bunch of like files to look at your decks and your cards.
yep.
It's like if you don't want to do any of this, you want to stand in place and hit tab and do that stuff. You can do that.
I'll be
There's a
hitting tab.
shooting range at one end of the hub area, which is useful because, like Dorani mentioned at the top, it lets you see basically all the different permutations of the guns
Yeah,
and the different attachments. If you really want to really nail something or like fire a gun that you've never seen
yeah,
or that you've never come across, it's a good way to that. Yeah, a bunch of like stuff on the front end. It runs better. It has DLSS support for people with NVIDIA RTX GPUs, and it runs better than the Alpha for sure.
yeah. You said about the it runs better. Let's just speak about the performance as a whole. The performance for me was great. I was playing on ultra settings. I was getting clean above 200 frames, just in case anyone's wondering. I've got a oh my god, what do I have? I'm trying to think what CPU I've got. I've got a Ryzen 7, the latest Ryzen 7, whatever it is, running on a 3070 as well. 32 32 RAM.
1080p, right?
Yeah, that was in 1080. I would have liked to have seen it in 1440 or even 4K, but there was no like hitches for me. Like it was running smooth, the frame rate was good. There's no glitches, no hitches, no frame stutter. It was running well. It was running really, and it looks really nice, man. Honestly,
Yeah.
it just looks really nice. I hope the gameplay is doing it justice, but of course, there's that thing where when you're watching something and when it's on your actual screen, it's two different things. And honestly, it just looks so solid. Like it looks great. And one thing I kept saying is during as we were playing, the blood splatter on the characters. You'll probably see this in the gameplay, guys. But I was like, it just looks so good, man. So good. What did you reckon?
It's very violent. The blood covers up the entirety of your model. Sometimes actually makes it harder to see teammates because you just see like a red blob and you think, oh, zombie, shoot, and then you shoot a teammate. There is friendly fire, but it's lessened the lower the difficulty you get and more severe the higher you go. But yeah, like I like the visual. They get a lot of mileage out of their art. The levels look like the sort of rustic town that we were playing. It goes on from the sort of kind of in the suburbs to like a kind of factory industrial area and then back out again. It ends with like a boat and you see a bunch of locations change. The game's running on Unreal, but it looks incredible. Like texture quality is solid.
Unreal.
And especially once you see like the modifiers of things that change the weather and like the fog, it really creates a cool, terrifying atmosphere. I love the look of it.
Yeah, I would like to see what the rest of the game looks like. You know, I'd like to see how, like, what other locale the characters go to. It's just fun, man. Honestly, it's fun. As I've said twice now already, I'm not a big fan of these styles of games. But if I'm saying, yeah, this is definitely something that should be on people's radars. If you've been looking for a co-op shooter and some of the previous ones haven't been, you know, scratching that itch, back for blood, you know, I'll buy you a Pepsi if it doesn't. I'll buy you a Coca-Cola if this doesn't scratch that itch. You could hold me to that as well, but yeah, it's not legally binding, so don't message VG247. I owe you a Coke. It's fun to play. What did you think, Sherif? Let's just close this out.
It's fun to play for sure. I think go into this with an open mind. I don't think the fun that you've had with Left 4 Dead is going to be repeated because that was a time and place type thing.
Yeah.
So stop looking for a game that's aping Left 4 Dead. This is a modern game with some of the learnings and some of the cool things that we like about Left 4 Dead, but in a modern context without all of the bullshit of like leveling up and chasing gear and all that stuff.
Yeah.
The pre-order beta starts today for the entirety of the weekend. And then there's another open beta on all platforms, cross-play, the following Thursday until the rest of that weekend as well. So download it, give it a go. I think if you like a co-op game, you'll love this.
Yeah, definitely. Right, thanks for listening, guys. My name is Dorrani from VG247.
Sherif, thank you.
Sherif from VG247. We are just having fun with this game. Right, take care, everyone. See you later. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed it. It's free and you can always unsubscribe at any time. Take a look at our other videos if you like. Also, check out VG247.com for around the clock gaming news and updates.